It's showtime, folks.
Okay, too much. Okay, so we're talking about space. What movies have we fucking talked about? Jesus, I don't even know.
We just finished
We just talked for like 2 hours. I don't know. Have we even gone through half the movies yet?
We've done half.
Oh my god.
We basically finished talking about Hellraiser. Well, you talked about it.
Fucking night. Oh my god, this
So
is such a
basically,
bad idea.
I didn't watch Hellraiser because
This is worse than watching all the fucking movies.
for me,
oh my
it just
gosh.
conflicted with my faith.
Yeah.
And
As I'm here cursing,
I mean,
I conflict with your faith too, but it's okay.
I still love you. You're still top. You're still top 30 cousin.
Yay! We only have 30 cousins. Okay.
On mom's side.
Mm-hmm. I know who 31 is, so that's all that matters.
You gotta remember, I've got about 37 parents. Feels like.
How you do? That's right. I only have 3. I'm pretty lucky. So I hope everybody listening can hear all the people partying back there, which I'm glad there's other people behind me in the woods partying and having a good time.
I'm glad
we're not the only ones. I would feel bad about making this much noise at 10:15 at night.
Is it really 10:15?
Well, you get an extra hour tonight.
I do.
So yeah,
I do.
So that's good. So let's try to finish this up to some. In some, let's not get on another political. We probably just talked about who was going to be president for 45 minutes in politics again.
Well, honestly, not much of that was even that. It was talking about congressmen and senators.
Yeah. I'm going to have to cut that out as another segment and try to get that posted before. I'll try to get that posted before Tuesday.
Well, why don't we go to the Leprechaun?
Okay, perfect. So I watched that again last night. So
Did you really?
Second time I watched it. I watched it a couple years ago.
Oh, shout out to the channel. Leprechaun Goes to Space. Didn't you say that was Leprechaun Goes to Space?
Yeah, I think he changed his name.
So, he's trying to rebrand.
Yeah.
Respect.
Yeah.
Or
so
not.
So John Coughlin is still our only fan. Sorry, there's no broken window shade behind Andrew.
We have the man from the Hunt.
Well, I don't know. I don't think he's actually like following our channel. He just made a comment.
Well, we gotta lure him in. We gotta earn.
I'm
his
trying
respect.
to be nice. I'm not.
He was trying to be nice. You weren't.
He was trying to be nice. I probably wasn't.
You're scaring the fans. Stop it.
So that's what I do.
The Southerners coming out.
Leprechaun 4. Leprechaun in Space.
This is another one where I've seen only one of the movies in the franchise.
Which other one have you seen?
Leprechaun in the Hood.
Wow, that was the one after this, I think.
Was it?
Yeah.
I honestly don't remember.
So this one was by Brian Trenchard Smith. Was the director.
Should I know that name?
Maybe because when we talked about our guilty pleasure movies, I did mention that this is the man that directed Leprechaun 3.
Okay.
Which is a guilty pleasure of mine. I really do enjoy Leprechaun 3. And I will say this before we get too much into it. Leprechaun 4 is a bad movie, but it's not a boring movie at all.
There's a fine line.
And I did not find myself bored at all.
No.
Watching Leprechaun, it's kind of crazy. Like, I don't hate it. Like, it's not a good movie. It's a very bad movie.
Well, and going on to that is like, so far, in my opinion, we haven't reached. Well, I'll let you decide for Hellraiser because obviously I didn't watch it.
I think Hellraiser is kind of boring at points. There's points that are okay.
But no, I was going to say we haven't reached jumping the shark.
No, Hellraiser is completely jumping the shark. It's obvious.
Okay.
it's obvious it's an add-on. It doesn't feel natural with the story. It doesn't add to the lore. The whole Ghost of Space portion of that is very much jumping the shark.
I would argue that Leprechaun does not jump the shark.
Really?
Only because, now, I don't know a lot about 1, 2, and 3.
Okay.
I do know Leprechaun in the Hood, which is jumping a very racist shark. Very racist shark.
It's the only kind of sharks I know. I don't know any sharks who aren't racist.
I don't know sharks. And next time on Hydro Man Rain, it's just me. Just me. 'Cause Kevin was canceled and shot. Damn it. What are we talking about? Movies?
We're
Leprechaun.
talking about racist movies.
Leprechaun in the Hood,
Yes.
probably a little racist.
Okay.
Probably. I don't know. I don't know the backstory. I would say, just on what I know of the Leprechaun story, I would say Leprechaun 4 is not jumping the shark. Because I don't get the vibe that they take it too seriously. And I don't get the vibe that it's supposed to be a true continuity. But having not seen the first 3, maybe I'm way off.
No, I will go with you on that one because it's. I think it seems to me that everyone involved in Leprechaun 4 understands that this is a giant joke, and they're just having fun.
And that's what matters.
I think it is. Yes.
Because again, going into Happy Days, they were trying to.
Well, I mean, that was a comedy show, so it's hard to say
That's true.
they were even taking that seriously.
But they were a beloved and treasured comedy show. They were like a cornerstone kind of thing.
Sure.
It wasn't like The Simpsons or Family Guy, just going to space.
Right. Fair enough. I mean, yeah, and it wasn't even like there's that one episode of The Simpsons where Homer is voicing that character, that additional character for Itchy and Scratchy, and they're kind of making fun of that jumping the shark.
The dog?
Yeah, the dog.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Where and at the end of it is like, and he goes to space and nobody ever heard from him again. And it's just like when they realize like how much they've jumped the shark and they don't want the character there anymore. I have to go home to my home. I have to go to my home, back to my home planet, or whatever.
Yeah,
like that. It's just
I
awkward
remember that.
Yeah. So I mean, I think, yeah, The Simpsons knew what jumping the shark was and even made jokes about it. So you wouldn't get that there.
They were more meta than we realized.
Oh, they're incredibly meta. But I mean, they had so many episodes. I mean, you gotta. I mean, you're going to write about everything.
You are, yeah.
That's why everybody's like, oh, they're predicting the future. No, they just ran out of shit to write. They had to. Or you have that many episodes you're going to write about.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think that's the fact that the writers for that show or that movie clearly were not trying to win an Oscar.
Well, and I don't even think it's that. I think it's everyone involved knew that they were making something stupid and we're just trying to have fun with it.
Right.
And make it as entertaining as possible.
Yes.
And I do feel like they accomplished it. Because, I mean, like, everybody feels in on the joke.
Yeah.
Like, there doesn't feel anybody, like, okay, like...
It's a B-horror. It's a typical B-horror movie.
Right. I mean, like, the most... It's not even, like, there is actual, like, nudity. There is a woman that shows her breast in it. But the most, like... The most out of joke moment feels like where the girl is at the end crawling through the air vents or whatever and gets her pants ripped off. Mm-hmm. And she's just in like her underwear for the rest of the film. Yeah. That feels actually like the most lurid and gross part of the entire film. Like it doesn't feel like...
Yeah.
It feels like some producers like, we gotta get some skin in this thing. Get her naked. Or as close as you can. Well, we don't have nudity written into our contract. Get her as naked as you can. Which I did read online, and apparently there wasn't any nudity in the movie to begin with, and so the producers wanted nudity, and so the writer wrote in that scene where the princess takes off her top so you shows her boobs,
Just
but whoever she shows her boobs to, that means that they're sentenced to death. And so the writer wrote that in just as like a kind of a middle finger to the producers, is like showing them how stupid their request for nudity was.
Producers are so just,
which is weird because I don't remember nudity in Leprechaun 3, and somebody can correct me on that. It's been a while since I watched it. It is a guilty pleasure, but that one is kind of like wholesome in that regard. There's nothing like lurid about it, the way that there feels like there are lurid scenes in this film, and I feel like the filmmaker, like Brian Trenchard Smith, is trying to say, in the way he shoots everything, it's not me.
mm-hmm.
It's I'm not trying to do this. I do feel like he's trying to do that, but still, it is interesting.
So do you think he had like a real vision?
No, Brian Trenchard Smith is not a director with a vision. He is a director that makes a movie and makes it as fun as possible.
Mm.
That's what he wants. He wants to make an entertaining, fun film. When you watch any of his movies, they're entertaining, they're fun. No message, no real vision. It's not what he does. In fact, there was I was watching a documentary on Mad Max.
Mm-hmm.
So I bought like this giant Mad Max set. And then when we lost internet and power, or when we lost internet after Helene, we didn't have like internet for like 2 weeks. I was just going through all my DVDs and watching them.
Mm.
And I'd bought this Mad Max set, all the Mad Max movies and tons of behind the scene features.
Mm.
And I watched one on the original Mad Max movie, and there was an accident on set, or there was an accident with people coming to set, and the original actress who was supposed to play Mel Gibson, Mad Max's wife in that original movie, was injured on her way to set. And then like something happened on set, and George Miller was actually thinking, I think I just need to hang it up and not direct. I don't think this is for me. Mm. And they were looking at Brian Trenchard Smith to finish directing. And I'm really glad they didn't do that, because I enjoy Brian Trenchard Smith's films, but he is not a man of vision. And a man like George Miller is a man of a vision. Like, that is a director there. Brian Trenchard Smith, he'll make you a movie, fun. He'll make you some money at the box office. Nobody's going to call it woke. Nobody's going to call it anything. It's just a movie people enjoy. So,
bless him.
The sets were cardboard. They were some of the worst sets I'd ever seen. I forgot how awful they looked. I don't think last time I watched it, it was in HD. So this is the first time I watched it in AD. Those sets were horrific in that movie. The special, like the CGI, I remember the CGI being bad, but in HD,
is that bad?
Oh, that's like Nintendo 64 like cutscene graphics. That's so bad. I don't know who signed off on those. So bad.
That same redneck producer you were talking about.
Probably, yeah. Doesn't want to spend money on it. I do think it's interesting how you're saying it's not jumping the shark.
That's just my take on it. You know what I mean?
No, I can see that, because it's almost kind of making fun of the idea.
Yeah.
Like, they don't even try to explain why Leprechaun is on that planet with his gold. Like, it doesn't matter. He's there. We got to get him onto the spaceship so we can do some weird things.
It's disconnected from the lore.
It is. Well, it doesn't matter.
I don't know, and I don't even know what the lore is. But
there really isn't that much. The lore is, if you take the Leprechaun's gold, he's going to do everything he can to get it back. Mm-hmm. Kill you, whatever he wants to do. That's the lore. That's it. There's not a whole lot of Leprechaun lore. Mm-hmm. So I mean, obviously they didn't need to do much. They barely even acknowledged that he's doing any of this for his treasure. He's doing everything he's doing, popping out of that guy's dick, just to get back the princess, who he also kind of hates, but he wants to take over her planet.
Mm.
So, very, very weird plot. Everything seems kind of thrown together like, oh, what do we do? I don't know.
It was definitely the most confusing one that I saw.
Really? I was kind of. I mean, I feel like it was straightforward.
Well, confusing in the sense
Were you
of
confused? Were you confused by
why?
the scene where Sarge dressed up like a woman?
Well, that too.
Yeah.
No, well, more confusing as like why, like why any of this.
I think they knew they were making comedy horrors,
Mm-hmm.
so they thought this would just be a funny take on it. I think that's it.
I think the fact that this led to Leprechaun of the Hood, that makes so much more sense now.
Okay.
Did you ever see that one?
No, I didn't go past this one. At the end of this one, I was like, okay, I didn't hate that, but I don't need to keep going. I'm okay. It's kind of like with the MCU. Like, all right, I've seen that Doctor Strange movie. I'm good. I don't know that I need to see any more.
Well, then what is the Infinity War of Leprechaun?
Oh, it's number 1.
Number 1?
Actually, no, I'm going to say it's number 3. I have a deep passion and love. I think number 3 is actually the most entertaining and best of all the Leprechaun films. I do deeply feel that. I will argue that. So.
Oh boy. No, that's Leprechaun 4.
That's Leprechaun 4.
Didn't have much to say about that one. Besides my jumping the shark take,
Okay.
interesting.
So we got 2 left. You want to go finish up the horror?
Let's finish the horror.
Okay. So we're going with Jason X.
Jason X.
Which is the most Canadian film ever made.
He really.
So much so that they got Cronenberg in a cameo at the beginning of the film.
That's a really.
He's the doctor that gets killed at the beginning. That's David Cronenberg, the legendary director of The Fly and so many other amazing great films.
That really is a very it's a Canadian film. Isn't it?
All of the actors in it are pretty much Canadian. Like, there was a show with Kevin Sorbo in the early 2000s called Andromeda.
Right.
It's kind of like a Star Trek type ripoff show.
I've heard of it.
So the woman who's a robot, and then the girl who is the time traveler type character, the character that gets frozen with Jason.
Right.
They're from that Andromeda show. But in the show, one of them is kind of like the second in command, and the other one is the android type machine person.
Yeah.
So they swap characters. So to show their talent as actresses.
Nice.
I will say this: I think it has the best kill of any Jason movie.
We've discussed this kill.
Bar none. I love the liquid is it
liquid nitrogen?
Yeah, liquid nitrogen kill. That's such a genius kill. And the saddest thing is that's it for the movie. Like, it's such a boring movie. And I'm a Jason fan.
Are you?
And it's a boring movie.
It does drag.
Oh yeah. Unlike Leprechaun 4, like, there were like moments for a minute or two where I was like, okay, I'm gonna look at my phone for a second in Leprechaun 4.
Mm-hmm.
There were long stretches in Jason X where I'm like, okay, we need to move this plot along.
Move along.
You should have had more people on the spaceship that could have died.
Yeah, I don't know what to compare it to. It felt like At times, it almost felt like they wanted to make it into like one of those Doom style horror action.
Like,
Like
it was long before Doom.
what? No, I know, but like
I mean, not the video game. Oh, and speaking of that, the doors that open in Leprechaun 4,
Mhm.
they're the noise. They stole the sound effect from Doom.
Did they really?
So if you ever watch it, if you ever do actually get so bored that you watch Leprechaun 4 again, listen to the noise that the doors make when they open up. That is the Doom door opening noise. So,
But I was referring more to the movie, but
Okay.
which was absolute crap. But
several years, about 5 or 6 years after this.
was it really?
Yeah, the one with the rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it just felt that way then to me. I don't know. I don't really know. Like again, you're right. Great kill, clever, and I'm not a big fan of just kills and stuff like that. But like, that was creative.
Yeah.
I respect it. I was like, yeah, you like clearly someone actually thought that through. I don't know how scientifically accurate it was. Probably not. But perfect idea.
Yeah.
Perfect idea for that movie. I think this is the one where I really think of it as jumping the shark. Because no one would I know, like Jason has lore, like throughout the whole of the movies, right?
Yeah.
Because I've seen the first one.
It gets confusing, especially with the one before this.
What,
Jason goes to hell.
Does he actually go to hell?
Yeah, and it ends with he goes to hell, and then the hand with Freddy's hand comes up and grabs the mask. That's how the movie ends.
Was that?
That was supposed to lead into Freddy versus Jason.
I was gonna say.
Which didn't happen for. That movie happened like in 2004, I want to say. I think is when that movie happened. So that was several years after this one.
And that had nothing to do with anything?
No. Well, I mean, that one had. It loosely tied into the actual lore of both of those movies, right? This one,
I never saw it, so I don't know.
This one doesn't really tie into the lore a little bit. It almost even makes fun of the lore when you see the scene where they go into basically the holographic. He goes into a holographic room, and you have the two girls come out, and they're like topless, and they're like, "Oh, let's go have premarital sex and smoke marijuana or whatever," and then they jump in the sleeping bag. And then he like bashes them up against a tree, which is a trope to previously the best kill. It's a nod to the previous best kill before the liquid nitrogen, which is in a previous film. He did take a girl, put her, she was in her sleeping bag, and then he slammed her up against a tree.
Okay.
They edited it down greatly in the movie, but he slams her several times and turns her basically into hamburger inside of her sleeping bag. Great kill. Wonderful. Love that kill. Ode to Jason right here. If he wants to show up and kill us, I'd be honored. But
Kill me first.
if he kill me first, man, you run faster than me. Let's not make a joke out of it. You know you would.
Well, I don't need to run. I don't need to run the fastest. I just make sure I don't run the slowest.
You run faster than me. That's what matters. So yeah, I think this movie is definitely jumping the shark in terms of it has one interesting kill, because what these movies are really about are the kills. Like,
and Jason's always been that way. Same with Freddy.
Right, and I get that may not appeal to you, may not appeal to everybody, but the movies are about the kills.
That's the target audience.
And you have one of the best one in the entire series right up to bat, and then no more.
It's kind of a waste.
Yeah, and then the other ones are just kind of like, okay, whatever, like
boom, Jason got him. Boom, Jason got him.
Yeah, so I think that's my biggest problem with this movie is that it completely elevates your expectations, and then it's just really, really boring.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing else really to say about it. Like, I honestly think...
Which disappointed me, because I don't know why, but I was expecting it to be much more entertaining.
And this is like the third or fourth time I've watched it. So I will say, as a connoisseur of bad films. And... Yeah, I think out of all the 6 we watched, I think this was the most difficult one for me to watch. This was the hardest. It was just the most uninteresting and least fun I had out of all the movies we watched.
Which is weird, because for Jumping the Shark, I would expect...
Yeah. Let's be crazy and zany and go all out. And at least be like, okay, that was stupid and weird, but it was entertaining.
Right.
No, this movie is not entertaining in the least.
And this one, in terms of creation, isn't there like a significant gap between 9 and this one?
What do you mean?
Like, this was like several years later in terms of when it was made, comparatively.
Yeah, it was. I don't know the exact amount of years, but yeah, you are right. It is a good.
So I'm wondering,
it might be close to 10 years.
I'm wondering, did someone get like the rights and was like, oh, let me just have some...
No, because it was the same people that had the rights whenever the Jason Goes to Hell.
Okay.
So, and this is a very interesting thing. Like, Jason Voorhees and Friday the 13th are separate rights. And so the 2 guys that made the original Friday the 13th, one of them owned the rights to Friday the 13th, and one of them owned the rights to Jason Voorhees. So at a certain time, it goes to New Line Cinema, and it goes Jason Takes Manhattan, Jason Goes to Hell, Jason X. It's no longer Friday the 13th because they can't. They lose that right at a certain point. And I think the previous ones are actually Friday the 13th movies, but this one is Jason X, and then it's Freddy versus Jason because the rights... Not all the rights have been sold together, so they can't call it a Friday the 13th movie. They have to call it Jason.
Gotcha.
So,
okay.
Yeah, it's a very... That's the most interesting thing about this movie is the intellectual property law behind it. Like, why is it Jason X and not Friday the 13th Part 10?
Friday X.
So, yeah. So that's all I would say.
They need a crossover with Jason and the guys from Friday, next Friday, Friday after next.
Well, then, I mean, that's just Leprechaun in the Hood. Jason in the Hood.
Jason is the Hood in space.
Jason the Hood in space. Okay, all right. I'll watch it.
I'm putting my money on
Right.
on the guys from Friday.
The real question is, would you be racist for watching it, or would it be you racist for not watching it? That's a question that needs to get asked.
It depends. Who are you asking? Are you asking MAGA, or are you asking wokeness, or whatever that is?
I don't know. Take a poll. Are you woke SJW, or are you MAGA idiot? Let us know, and we'll tell you which side we take, because we don't really care. We just want to make money on the internet. We're like Marjorie Taylor Greene. There's got to be somewhere. Look, I've seen how much money Andrew Tate has.
I'm not doing that business.
Okay, fair enough. I just need your help setting it up.
I mean, if you're comfortable lying to me, I guess that's...
Yeah, I'm pretty comfortable lying to you.
Okay, cool. There we go.
Yeah. That's this entire channel. Nobody actually watches this at all. I'm just having fun with you.
All those bots.
It's a giant joke years in the making just on you.
I can respect that.
John Coughlin, Darren, they don't exist.
All characters I've created.
So that's Jason X.
Yeah.
I think it's the worst thing we watched.
I was really expecting to be able to actually comment on it more.
No, I don't think there's a lot to talk about with it. Sadly, I think it's there's a lot of channels out there who talk about Jason films, and I think they were probably much better suited. I don't think it. This is definitely a jump the shark movie.
Yes.
It does it poorly by not even being interesting. It's just a boring. It shouldn't even exist, really, sadly.
And that's the thing is, like, I expect to have, like, the same kind of feeling I have when I'm watching, like, Fast and the Furious. Obviously, I'm not expecting a good movie, but I'm expecting some fun action, some cool cars, some silliness like that. You don't get that here.
No.
You don't. It's because, like, I know, like, the later Friday the 13th probably weren't good in terms of story wise, but I'm sure had, for the fans that like it, I'm sure they had a lot of fun with the kills, with the action, all that stuff.
Jason Takes Manhattan actually has some fun stuff.
Isn't that one where he boxes some guy on the roof?
Yeah. Yeah.
See, at least then it's like, okay, you're trying. You're
Yeah.
creative. Interesting idea. And then there's that famous scene where he just kicks that those guys are listening to the stereo on the sidewalk, and he just kicks the crap out of it.
Yeah. Which that was like one of the few scenes that they actually filmed in New York.
Was it really?
Yeah, most of the movie is not filmed in New York, no. So yeah,
Well,
another Canadian production. So
thank you, Canada.
So with that, let's talk about our final film, Moonraker.
One of the better ones.
The Jason or the
What?
not Jason Bourne.
Oh, I think I thought we were going back to Jason X.
No, James Bond movies. One of the.
I guess Jason Bourne is kind
he
of
is.
America's James Bond.
In a way, yeah.
I don't know who else would be.
I think there's definitely aspects of it, sure.
If you consider the fact that the American James Bond will probably be a little less suave, a little more just bang bang kill kill.
Yeah. So this one is interesting because the Bond movie before this one is The Spy Who Loves Me,
Ooh.
which I really do enjoy. At the end of the credits in that one, it says James Bond will return in For Your Eyes Only. At the end of that movie. A year or two later, Star Wars comes out. And is a giant hit.
I see what you were saying about my comment earlier.
And so, Moonraker. And again, at the end of the credits, James Bond will return in For Your Eyes Only.
That's awesome. I did not know.
So this one, in terms of jumping the shark, I think 100%. Because it's not just jumping the shark; it's also trend chasing.
But then that has to ask the question then: can you successfully jump the shark?
I don't think this one does.
Yeah.
So I love James Bond films.
Same.
I enjoyed this film.
No, yeah, it was great.
This is not a good James Bond film. This is not a good film.
If we're comparing it to...
I'd still rather have this on and watch this than, like, most any MCU movie or any Star Wars movie.
Certainly more than any
But-
other MCU movie past Endgame.
Sure. But, I mean, I like James Bond movies. There's a fun turn off the brain thing I can do, especially with the pre Daniel Craig ones that I do enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
But this one is a bad movie. It's so bad. I'm gonna tell you how bad it is.
Okay.
It completely misses the most obvious joke, and in doing that, it has helped solidify an entire fucking conspiracy theory about alternative planes of existence. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I feel like I will when you say it, but I'm missing the joke. I don't...
Dottie. Jaws' girlfriend,
Right.
does not have braces. The scene where they meet, he smiles. Jaws. Big gleaming
Yeah.
silver thing. She smiles back. But it's a beat, right? She doesn't immediately smile back. It's a beat, and then she smiles back at him. The most obvious joke in the world is to have her be a brace face.
That would be, yeah.
And it's such an obvious joke. That's what everybody remembers happening. So everybody thinks that this is a Mandela effect,
I was about to
where
say that.
we live in a different universe where Dottie doesn't have braces. People swear. People swear on their father's lives. No, my father and I, we were in the theater, and that was what happened when we saw it.
Are we sure there's not a theatrical cut?
They have. I've actually looked into it.
Have you really? I was just saying.
They're because it's such an obvious joke, and I'm like, I believe these people that like, why would you not do that joke?
Yeah.
Like, it just makes so much sense to have
I didn't even
The
think
gr-
of that, but that makes perfect sense. You're right.
the girl that falls in love with Jaws should have braces. That
Absolutely.
just makes sense. Yeah, so that's the type of thing for me. One of my hard things with watching this movie too is that Moonraker is my favorite James Bond book, and this is a
I don't know the
virtually
name of the book.
James Bond and Drax, Hugo Drax. That's it. That's the only things that's the same.
Wow.
Almost nothing else is the same at all.
I mean,
There's more similarities between Die Another Day and in the Moonraker book. I mean, between Moonraker and the Moonraker book.
right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know nothing of the James Bond books. So
No, my dream was always that they would do a retro James Bond movie with the guy that played Loki, Tom Hiddleston, as James Bond, and they would do Moonraker kind of book accurate in the time and place that book taking place, early '60s, late '50s kind of story.
I'd watch
I
that.
thought that would be that was always my dream that they would do. There was talk that was what I'm not sure it was he wanted to do that book, but that's what kind of Quentin Tarantino was in talks for a bit to do. When he was in talks to do like Star Trek movie or a Bond movie,
Right.
there was talks of him doing a period piece movie.
I'd enjoy it.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with you that, like, I don't think it's one of the better Bond films, but I also think a lot of the Bond films are good films. I think this is passable
Sure, it's passable.
as a film. I mean, like, as a film, like, I genuinely enjoyed it
As a film, it is a film.
as a Bond film.
As a film, it happens to actually be a film.
Yes.
It is kind of interesting.
It
that
does.
way.
It
Yeah.
does play.
Yes.
I mean, I had a lot of fun with it.
No, I had
I
a lot of
enjoyed
fun
it.
with it too.
And again,
I hate the pigeon double take. That's one of the worst things Bond ever did. And when he's in Venice, that whole Venice scene, I honestly, I don't know how many times I watched this movie. I still don't understand why Drax steals back his spaceship at the beginning of the movie, causing everything to happen. I don't understand. It's fine. It's fine. There's a lot of Bond movies like that where there's probably some convoluted reasoning I've never really paid attention to. This movie insists you not actually pay attention to it, so it's hard.
I mean,
It's hard. It's hard to keep up on details in a movie that threatens your life if you do.
It's still easier than Quantum of Solace.
I like that movie.
I liked it. It's just I felt like every time I watch it, I'm like, I don't know what's going on.
Quantum of Solace? No, it's okay. You gotta watch it. You gotta watch a double feature. You gotta watch that directly after you watch Casino Royale. Good movie.
You know, I've never done that.
Makes complete perfect sense. It's
Well,
good.
and I love Casino Royale, so that'll be always fun to watch.
I do too. It was one of my top 5 movies of all time.
I
when we went over that,
I
yeah.
love I love it. And even though I'll forgive the fact that the final hand at the table, there were 5 people on the river, because that Happens all the time, apparently.
Was there? I have to go back and rewatch it. I don't remember. I think everybody
No,
else
four.
is out.
There's four, but still, four in on the river does not happen.
Okay.
Maybe 3.
I don't watch poker enough, I guess, to have caught that. So
it's a common trope in anything poker. Like, it's not like a James Bond problem. Like, poker movies, that's how you build attention.
Right.
Any sport, the thing that happens is like, why would that happen? Because it builds attention.
Yeah.
So like, it's totally fine. Like, I'm not angry about it. It's just and it by itself is fine. But yeah, no, I'm not gonna say this is like one of the best Bond films, but I think it's better as a Bond film than you do. I guess is how I see it. Obviously.
Yeah, I always kind of place down a lot of the Roger Moore stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not to say I don't dislike the Roger Moore movies. I actually do really like. Again, it's a movie I could not walk you through the plot at all, but I do really like The Spy Who Loved Me.
Yeah.
My favorite theme song is actually from The Spy Who Loved Me. You know, the Man with the Golden Gun, I think, is a lot of fun. Roger Moore era is a lot of fun, but I don't. It's hard to take those movies seriously, and I think they even include a pigeon double take in this dumb movie, so obviously they knew that too. And somehow Jaws is a supervillain. Who the hell knows what's going on there? But
well,
so I mean,
there's
like,
50 Bond movies?
25, I think.
I don't think it was 50 again. Goodness gracious, what's wrong with me?
Yeah, 25, I think.
I'll fact check you live.
Okay. I feel like the last Bond movie was Bond 25, if I'm not mistaken.
You might be right. I may be just completely over exaggerating.
I mean, it does feel like there's a lot, but
Wrong.
oh,
26.
okay. All right. Yeah, so I don't know. Like, it's hard to take some of the Roger Moore ones seriously. I didn't grow up on the Roger Moore ones, so obviously there's another level there that I don't have that connection to. I really love the Sean Connery ones. I really love the Timothy Dalton ones. I know a lot of people don't like Timothy Dalton Bond movies. I actually enjoy those too.
I enjoy Sean Connery. I actually got into James Bond through Daniel Craig, and then went back
Oh, okay.
and started watching the other ones.
See, it was as a kid, we were just it was just I'll tell you what, I remember seeing it was the trailer for it was one of the Timothy Dalton Bond movies, and I can't remember which one it is off the top of my head, but he jumps a semi and a trailer onto its wheel, onto side wheels, and they shoot a rocket underneath it. And I remember just seeing that clip in a trailer and thinking, that's the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, it was just it was ridiculous. It was phenomenal. It was the greatest thing I'd ever seen. And I remember as a kid, I hadn't even seen a James Bond movie, but at that moment in time, I became a James Bond movie fan.
Right.
Because that one clip, I was like, that's amazing. That's the coolest thing. And from that point on, I begged my mom to let me watch James Bond movies. And the library had a couple on VHS. And she showed me Dr. No, and she was like, this is a James Bond movie. And I was like, I gotta watch it. It's a James Bond movie. And so I've been a James Bond James Bond fan ever since. So yeah, I'm pretty big into him. But yeah, the Roger Moore era isn't entirely my cup of tea all the time. Some of them they don't entirely work for me.
No.
But I really rather watch a bad James Bond movie than a lot of other good movies.
Oh yeah.
Except for Die Another Day. I do really hate Die Another Day. I think that's a bad movie.
Well, it's like pizza. Like even if it's bad pizza, it's still pizza.
That's a great way of putting it.
You get it.
It's still perfect.
It's still pizza.
Yes. Yeah.
Do you want to have a salad? Do you want to have a Jason X salad? Or do you want...
Jason X. No, Jason X is like 2 grilled pieces of bread together and somebody telling you it's a sandwich. That's what Jason X is.
You can argue that maybe technically it is.
Jason, like Friday the 13th Part 4 is like a wonderful, nutritious hoagie. Like the best sandwich you've ever had in your entire life. And Jason X is just 2 toasted pieces of bread, nothing in between them.
See, I'm not
a little dot of mustard in there.
Yeah,
and that's the one kill.
I'm not completely out of the loop because I do know, even before you mentioned it earlier, that 4 is considered by many the best one.
Yeah, 4. I know some people, like my buddy John Wayne, thinks that it's 6.
Mm-hmm.
He's a big fan of Kane Hodder.
Is that who
started playing him in 6 and went through he was Jason in Jason X.
Is 6 the one where they dig him up?
It is. It's zombie. It's the first of Zombie Jason.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
I saw that.
So that's actually the action figure that I have.
Oh,
is because it's the best. It's the coolest looking Jason, but it's, to me, Jason 4 is the best.
The best one.
Best kills, best boobs.
Is that
not that really matters?
Is that Manhattan?
Jason 4?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
That Manhattan is 9.
Oh wow.
Yeah. No. 7. Sorry. No. 8.
5.
8. 5 isn't even Jason. Don't bring up 5. We don't talk about 5.
What is 5?
It's a copycat killer.
Okay, I wasn't sure
because he dies. One of the Coreys kills Jason at the end of 4.
One of the Coreys?
Yeah, the Coreys from the 80s. Corey Feldman, Corey Haim.
Is that are those actors or are those? Okay.
Yeah. If you get into 80s cinema, you understand.
Wait, Friday the 13th. Does it have an actor who became a really bad pop singer?
Corey?
Is it Corey?
Yeah, I can't remember. I think Corey Feldman. I think that's who it is.
If it's there's a song I got it from Red Letter Media because they were talking about it.
It's probably Corey Feldman.
If it's who I'm
Corey Feldman has put out some really, really bad albums. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, then I'm sure it is then because it's.
I'm pretty sure that's because he was buddies with Michael Jackson back in the day too.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah.
Oh, and look what pops up. Joe Rogan hates Corey Feldman.
Corey Feldman has kind of turned into a jerk. I mean, like 4, he's such a little kid in it. Like right. you can kind of ignore the douchebag that he's become.
Yeah, he's from the little I've seen, he truly embodies the celebrity out of touch with reality.
Oh, 100%. Like, yeah, he's such a cringy weirdo, and he doesn't get it.
It's like being in a few horror movies does not make you a true star.
I think he's like buddies with like Fred Durst also, which just add on another layer of this is not somebody we should give any attention to.
And yet here he is.
Yeah.
Being discussed.
Yeah, well, I mean, like he works in Jason 4. I liked him. Look, I'm a fan of the Lost Boys movie too, and I think both of them do a good job. And that they're both in there. They're both comic book nerds in the Lost Boys. I appreciate that movie too. So they had their moment. I mean, April has a few movies from the 80s that she likes with them in it. A lot of it's nostalgia, of course, just like the Lost Boys for me. But yeah, they had their moments. They're fine.
Main gear. Landing gear now down and locked. Main gear touchdown. Pilot Jim Dutton now deploying the drag chute. Nose gear touchdown.
So we're back from Mars.
We're back from Mars. We've been to space. Now we're back.
Reading there.
Spend probably more time talking about the election than politics than anything else.
Yeah.
But I mean, honestly, like this is a rough watch. This is like at least with Adam Sandler, we had some really high highs, right?
There were some highs.
There were some really great movies.
Uncut Gems.
Oh, Punch Drunk Love.
Punch Drunk was incredible.
And what was the movie?
Baller? Not Baller.
No.
Bouncer.
No, it was the one where he was the
The basketball player.
not the basketball. Well, he was getting the basketball.
Or
player.
getting that, yeah.
That was a great movie.
Was
I mean,
great.
it was a very good movie. Maybe not great, but it was very good.
It was.
And then the lows were so bad and interesting. It was to
What were the?
like-
What were it? Was Pixels?
Pixels was horrible. Yes.
The Western one was that one.
Ridiculous Six. That one was actually probably the toughest. 'Cause
That one I
was,
couldn't enjoy.
was like 2 hours long.
It was.
That one was
There were
just rough.
moments in Pixels that I had a little bit of nostalgia.
Oh, see, I hate that movie.
I mean, no,
We've
no,
gone
no,
over
no.
it.
I mean, like
Go-
Pixels
go-
gave me video game nostalgia.
Okay. Go back and watch that episode.
What was the third one?
It was Jack and Jill.
Yeah.
One of the worst movies he's ever made.
That's actually considered two of those. Maybe all three of them are considered worst movies ever. Period. By a lot of people.
Yeah, I don't think Pixels is as much. I have a lot of disdain
don't think
and
Pixels-
hatred for Pixels personally.
Yeah.
Like, I really, really hate that movie. I don't think everybody else does as much as that. There's not a movie here that I, like, hate. Right? Like, there's movies in here that I'm like Jason X. Like, as much as I am a fan of Friday the 13th, I think I'm okay if I never... I can just watch that one scene on YouTube, right? Like, that's all I
Right.
care about. I'm okay never watching that movie again.
Well, you know, some movies don't even get that.
Yeah, and I mean, like, for me, there is a nostalgia for Hellraiser 4. Like, there are parts of it that I do find fascinating, and it's probably not the stuff you would enjoy, but there are some good gore effects in it that I do think are actually kind of fun. Leprechaun 4, I think it's kind of it's kind of fun. Like, if you're having a party and everybody's drinking and you just want to watch a really dumb movie, I think that's a good one to put on.
Mm-hmm.
I think Leprechaun 3 is, for me personally, a little bit better in terms of that. But Leprechaun 4, tell me if you disagree. I don't think it was boring.
Boring, no.
It's not good, but it's not boring.
Yeah, boring is not the word I would use.
Yeah.
Definitely not the word I
Whereas
would use.
Jason X is definitely boring.
A lot of boring in there. And not enough to make up for the high.
Right. Now, Muppets from Space, I don't really think there's a lot to that film. If you have a kid that's into Muppets, I think it's a great film to show them. Whatever.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
for us.
No.
But yeah, it's fine. I think the only movies on here that I'd watch again would be Moonraker and Abbott and Costello.
Okay. I don't know that I think they're better. They're Abbott and Costello movies. I think that interest me more to rewatch.
Oh, there's other ones, but it's like
them mixed in with the Universal horror. For my taste, I think that's more interesting, and I would watch and rewatch those more.
yeah. But I mean, like I'm gonna rewatch every Abbott and Costello movie, so it's like that. It's not that like I'm gunning for them
Okay.
going to.
I mean, I'm more of a Marx Brothers guy than Abbott and Costello, but sure. If Marx Brothers went to space, yes, 100%. I would be there and watch that multiple times.
You know what's interesting is imagine that today, like some famous comedian or two famous comedians having their own series of movies and spin-offs from that. That would be very different.
It's Kevin Hart and The Rock. What are you talking about? I mean, that's like
Maybe.
It's,
well, The Rock.
Whatever The Rock is in, that's what it is. I mean, that's.
I guess it is. I was thinking more along
because
more
he
along
doesn't
the lines.
he doesn't act. He
No.
plays The Rock in everything. So.
I was thinking more along the lines of like Dave Chappelle and like Daniel Tosh, something like that.
But I think they've learned. I think they've learned from those old movies. I don't
Maybe
think
they
would
have.
ever do that. Because even like Abbott and Costello and Laurel and Hardy and even the Marx Brothers. I mean, it's not like they had like glorious ends. Like
True.
their audiences got burnt out on them and stopped watching their stuff. So, like Marx Brothers had a resurgence in the 70s. But before that, like in the 50s and 60s, nobody wanted anything to do with the Marx Brothers. And kind of similar with it was in the 80s, Laurel and Hardy and Abbott and Costello kind of had a resurgence too. And a lot of that was nostalgia too, because like Papa got me into Abbott and Costello. That was something that he watched as a kid, right? That was his nostalgia. That would be like us trying to get a kid into the Goonies or something like that, right? Like, I don't know. Or are you trying to get a kid to watch Batman the Animated Series? Right?
That's achievable.
I mean, I think it's achievable. I think that's a great series for myself.
Wonderful series.
But
I'm still grateful to you for reminding me how good Mask of the Phantasm was.
Mask of the Phantasm is great. Mask of the Phantasm is one of the best Batman movies ever. That just came out today, our top 5 superhero movies. So go watch it. We do talk about that for a bit.
I don't remember any of the movies we talked about. I'm glad that's on there.
Oh. Maybe if I wait 3 months to edit this one too, we'll forget all the movies we talked about on this one. We'll be like, oh, hey, that's right. We talked about that.
Remember when we thought we had a choice in the election?
Yeah. Remember when we had a democracy? Huh.
Good
That's
times.
crazy.
Good times.
Gosh. I miss those days when we weren't in this prison camp for saying one bad thing about Donald Trump. Good days. Good times. Oh, well.
At least I won our bet.
Gotta watch our standalone episode to get that joke. All right. So, I think as a whole, I'm questioning whether we do anything for 100 viewers, because this was rough.
I think the biggest issue,
we got to pick a better lane. We got to pick a genre, and we got to pick a set of movies where, like this Sandler, where we have the highs.
the problem is we don't have any kind of producer to keep us in check.
No, we don't. We only have ourselves, and so we'll make another bad choice. We'll forget about this and do something really dumb again.
Yeah, we will.
Make another 3-hour video that no one will actually ever watch.
What is the next thing we have?
I don't think we haven't even really decided. So I mean, maybe we've said in one episode, but nobody watches our shit. So we can, and nobody's watching this far into this episode at all. So we can change whatever we want to at this point in time. Whatever we want to.
Well, then we're going back to space.
Oh god damn it.
There's like 2 or 3 other ones that we considered.
We talked about a few other ones.
Oh wait, the 100 subscribers, the Yui Bowl.
Oh god,
And then 200.
I don't know if I can do that.
200 is you put for 100,000. We'll do a Rob Schneider special.
Yeah. If we get 100,000 subscribers, yeah, we'll watch Rob Schneider films. I'm not doing
200 subscribers is the Daily Wire movie marathon.
God, that's too low.
What is a woman? We got to add "Am I Racist" on there now.
The problem, what the biggest problem with that list is going to be is we both have to subscribe to the Daily Wire to watch. You can't even buy those movies anywhere else. It's not even like we could just I could buy them on Vudu.
Yeah,
it's so annoying. It's almost I don't even want to support that.
There's a small chance that they'll have some kind of partnership deal with Twitter or X.
I don't even have an account there anymore, though.
Okay, well that's free. When it comes down to it.
Is it? I don't know.
assume.
I don't know what Elon Musk.
It's
is
not
doing
free
anymore.
if you want anyone to see what you're saying.
Okay.
Because freedom of speech has a cost. The cost is $5.
That's too much. I don't care about. Nobody cares about what I'm saying. Okay. Oh God, are we really doing Uwe Boll for 100?
They don't have to.
Okay.
I don't care to. I find the fact that his movies are so bad. I find it funny. But like,
See,
I don't.
here's my problem: is I think we're just going to be watching like 6 Jason X's. That's my problem. I don't even think
Yeah.
they're so bad. They're interesting.
They're not.
That's my concern. If they were like, if it was like, oh, we're watching 6 Neil Breen movies,
Right.
bring it on.
Oh,
right?
Neil, I would.
I don't know that I can do six Uwe Boll movies. I don't know that they're that.
The one that I
We
watched.
might have to do like 4.
Yeah.
Like I don't know that I can do 6.
The only one that I watched of his from beginning to end was one where it has the older brother of the two from Prison Break.
Yeah.
Not the one who the one who was supposed to get broken out, not the one who went into the breaking out.
Right. It says in the name of the king, or is it the
No, it's-
postal?
Postal.
Okay.
I watched that one. And that was where I learned that actor basically could only play the same character.
Yeah. No,
Oh.
he doesn't have a lot of range. It's fine.
The only range I've seen him have, it still wasn't much at all, was in the Flash TV series.
It was just because that same actor from Prison Break was playing opposite him.
Who
that
has
guy has
range.
some range.
some range.
Yeah.
Some range.
Like that, and I really hated that other guy is basically The Rock, right?
Yeah.
Or even Dave Bautista. Like
He's more
like he needs to get with the right director, and maybe they can make something out of what he does. but
Yeah. The
he's,
problem is like he's not good at the one character he plays even. The other guy who played the other brother is very good at what he does. It's just there's not a lot of what he does. But I liked him in Flash, I liked him in Prison Break.
I heard a very interesting. There was an episode of the guy who plays the Punisher, and he played Shane on The Walking Dead.
Yes.
He had an episode of his podcast with she was the woman on Prison Break, and she was the wife on Walking Dead.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Sarah Wayne Callis, I think is her name.
I wouldn't know, but yeah, okay.
But anyways, apparently when they were making Prison Breaks was when the 2 Girls, 1 Cup video came out.
Oh goodness.
All the guys on set were passing that around to each other.
They're passing that around.
When she was in the room, they were watching it, and they were commenting to her how she looked like one of the girls. She's basically the only female on set.
So that was
None of
her
the-
Me Too moment.
None of the men stood up and defended her, be like, "Hey guys, we're working. Maybe this is a little bit unprofessional. We shouldn't be doing this."
Not even more working though.
No, not even work. But it is a professional environment.
It
Like,
is,
that's
it is.
definitely like that's all you got to say. You don't even have to be like, "Oh, look at me, I'm the good man." Just be like, "Hey guys, this is a little unprofessional to talk about with our co-star." None of them said anything like that, and
I feel for it. That sucks.
that made me just be like, okay, I kind of like don't really care for it. It's not even like a virtue signal thing. I'm kind of like, okay, I'm glad none of those guys on Prison Break have really had like real careers since then.
They haven't.
And,
So,
and
so
I hate-
even those two guys.
she said the main actors. That's all she said. She didn't name names.
The main actors.
So I'm assuming it was one of them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there was like.
And then there was like a Cyrus the Virus type character from Con Air. There was that guy on the show.
Yeah, he was his character was
Yeah,
a little over the top. It felt like a little cartoonish.
which was Cyrus the Virus, and
Yeah.
I mean, which is everybody in Con Air, honestly. But Yeah. Anyway,
Except Nicolas Cage. His hair was on point. He was on point.
I don't think anybody's ever done a better Southern accent than Nicolas Cage in that film.
Everyone's been chasing that high ever since.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I could. That's unfortunate and disturbing to hear.
Yeah. It's good. It was a good. It's. I don't know. It really makes me like that one actor that plays. I can't even think of his name right now. He played Shane on The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Played the Punisher. He just seems like a real man. Like he's not.
He would point out that's unprofessional.
Right, he's not like a performative man. He's not like Andrew Tate. I'm an alpha. He just seems like a real fucking man. Mm-hmm. Like he stands up for what's right. He stands up against what's wrong. Mm-hmm. He has a moral code, even if you don't entirely agree with everything. Like he has a strong moral code. And I'm like, we just need like more men like that. Less like Andrew Tate and more like this guy. Like Hollywood can produce like good, like solid human beings. Like they're not all pieces of trash.
You heard it here.
They're not all Sean Connery. Some are Roger Moore. Roger Moore was a nice, decent man. Come on.
You've heard it here from Kevin. Don't be like Andrew Tate. Be like the Punisher.
Exactly. Will that get us canceled? So late in the recording. Whatever. But I think that's it.
I think that's it, man.
We regret everything.
I think, on some degree, I knew I was going to regret some of these movies going into it. So
you got 5. You got 5. I got 6.
That's fair. Yeah, but you enjoyed the 6th one.
I'm not going to say I enjoyed it. I liked it. There's a difference. Like
it wasn't like you had to watch one more Jason X, at least from your perspective.
Okay, fair enough. It's close though. It's got some. There's only about 45 minutes of good.
It sounds to me like that one at least has some relevance to the story.
What? Going to space?
Well, no, the whole movie, not the going to space part.
Oh yeah, it does connect into the lore. It does add something interesting to the lore. Yeah.
Whereas Jason X didn't have to exist at all in the confines of the story.
That's a good way of putting it. Why does this exist?
It just didn't. It's just, well, sometimes you come across things that's like, this just didn't have to be.
Like, I'm glad I know the origin of Gonzo. Like, that makes more sense than Jason X.
Well, Gonzo deserves our respect.
He does.
All hail Gonzo.
That's a funny movie. If you watch Muppets from Space, count how many actors in that movie have been canceled.
Oh, goodness, is it a lot?
Yeah, it's a couple.
That's not good.
I did read on it too, which I thought was funny. Is there was it made sense after I looked up where it was filmed, but all of a sudden, like the kids from Dawson's Creek just show up at the end of the movie. I was like, what the hell? Like, I know that was the popular show at the time, but the movie was filmed in Wellington, North Carolina?
I don't know.
It's right near the coast. It's a big. They do a lot of film shooting. Like even like The Crow, the original Crow.
Oh, was there?
Was shot there, like in North Carolina.
Well,
and so that movie was shot there, and that was the same town where that television show was produced and filmed. So like,
well, the Muppets love to break the fourth wall,
and they definitely do in that movie. But it was funny to see that it was probably those kids just off day, and they're like, "Hey, you want to be in a Muppet movie?" So, yeah, sure, all right.
Well, I mean, when Dawson's Creek was on, when it was new, it was big. It was really big. I don't understand why, because I remember watching a few episodes like a few years ago, and Dawson's character, I just wanted to punch him in the mouth. Like, he is the most just self-righteous, pompous, just...
Yeah, my wife was like trying to say, well, you should watch it because he just wants to make movies. He wants to make like horror and science fiction movies. And I'm like, yeah, but I watched a few episodes. I was like, that's not what the show is about, though.
He's just such a jackass. I just don't like that character. And I don't know, and I hate because I'm sure he's a very nice guy.
Who, James Vanderbeek?
I guess
I don't know.
was that who plays him?
Yeah, that's who plays
Yeah,
him.
I'm sure he's a
Yeah.
very nice guy.
We don't know.
But
I'm not going to jump to that conclusion.
well, aren't
James
you,
Vanderbeek might be an asshole.
No, you're better. You're a better man than I am. Then
I
apparently.
am. I'll admit it. I don't know, but I think he is.
But his character is like this.
Pacey? Definitely is. He's making dumbass television shows about being a doctor on a cruise ship now. What the hell kind of show is that?
What are you talking about? I don't understand.
The guy who played Pacey on Dawson's Creek.
Yeah, but
Dawson's
like,
best friend.
Yeah, but I don't know what you're talking about with the show.
There's a new show on, and it's he's a doctor, but he's on a cruise ship. So every week, like, the cruise ship has to get in some mortal danger or something like that, so he can be a doctor
I'm sure that won't
on the cruise ship.
I'm sure that won't just be just way too much.
Which it's really funny because April watches it just because she just watches whatever sometimes.
But you know what?
And it's Don Johnson is the captain of the cruise ship.
Nice.
But everything he's been playing recently is like a horrible, racist asshole. So I keep on expecting his character just to be like, because like in the Watchmen television show,
Yep.
there was that film a couple months ago, something Ridge. I can't remember. It was on Netflix. Really good, really good movie.
I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
About like the former Marine or something like that. That just like kicks everybody's ass, but in an entirely believable way. Like I really liked it. That was a fun movie. But
You know what though? I don't care how bad that show is. Of the main cast, neither of them made a worse decision than marrying Tom Cruise. They
you know what? And I 100% bet she would agree with you.
yeah. I know she would, and so it's not a shot at her. I know she regrets her decision.
Poor woman couldn't even be in the second Batman because of Tom Cruise.
Yeah, that's bullcrap. That's legitimate bullcrap.
They had to get the dude that was going to originally play Batman's sister to take over for her.
Oh,
Jake Gyllenhaal was originally he was in the top running apparently for Batman with Christian Bale.
Huh.
Which would have been funny. There's been a little Brokeback Mountain reunion for the Dark Knight.
You know,
is that our 100th? Do we need to watch gay cinema for our 100th?
yes.
Just to prove we're woke. We're liberal.
Is
enough.
that what we're trying to prove? I
don't know.
I still don't know what we're
trying
to prove.
I'd rather watch a gay cinema than Uwe Boll. That's all I'm saying.
We could just not watch him. I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Like, I will not fight you.
Okay. Gay cinema it is for
I'll
100
just
viewers.
run faster than you. Yeah. But you know what it is? I'm not running. If Jason comes, let's go.
Okay.
I'll throw hands.
Okay.
I'll throw hands and firewood. Plus, I know enough of the movies where I can run as fast. I can run as fast as I want to. He'll
Oh, he has transportation
In fact,
abilities.
the fact that I'm running is probably.
You didn't play the video game. He has transportation abilities. That's how he
There
can.
you go.
Even if you run, he can still catch up with you.
Well, and it's how it's like the fact that I'm running means that my kill is gonna be more graphic.
Okay, fair enough.
Yours
Good.
is gonna be quick and just
Yeah. Mine's gonna be a Jason X kill. Yours is gonna be Jason 4 kill. Yeah, fair enough.
Does he
Good
have
call.
Does he have nitrogen with him?
Not out in the woods. No.
You can carry it.
He's kind of a he's a beast of burden. He's just gonna whatever is around, he's gonna pick up and use.
Burden.
Whether it's that shovel, a pickaxe, the axe, a fiery log.
So does he? He actually does have like a Michael Myers style where he's quick, like off camera, I guess.
That's in the video game. If you're playing as Jason, you have a teleportation ability, where you can so you can just kind of pop up somewhere.
Is it?
And
it's
it's to mimic how Jason just seems to be able to lumber and not run and just catch up with anybody who's running.
Is it ever explained in the movies?
No.
He's just there.
He's just there. Yeah.
Okay. In Halloween,
It's very much the way like in Halloween, like well, not in the first one, like it doesn't really happen in the first one, but like in later ones where he's just the evil that catches up with you.
Well, and again, that's what I liked about. That's what I found interesting about the first one. And there's a small part of me that wishes that was by itself, was because that's all he was. I really think that like making him the brother of Jamie's character was kind of cheapened it.
No, I don't hate the second one, but
I
do agree with that.
Yeah, I don't hate it at all.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's just
unnecessary plot device.
Yeah,
it's
he write
unnecessary
that while he was
motivation. Who?
John Carpenter, wasn't he drunk when he wrote that?
I mean, drunk or on coke? I mean, everybody was back then.
Why not both?
I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody who made Moonraker was drunk or on coke also, so it's
Kind of
fine.
needed. They kind of needed to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's our review of Halloween 1.
One of the greatest films ever made on cocaine and alcohol.
It's a good movie.
It is. It's a great movie.
I enjoyed it.
Halloween, yeah. No, I watching it again a few days ago. I watch it pretty much every year on Halloween.
I think a lot of people
And-
do. Yeah.
God, it's the original one's such a good movie.
You know what's interesting about the new trilogy is that they actually potentially had something with that third one.
Oh no! I think
They ruined it,
they did.
but they had something.
Yeah.
They could have easily, and even with the way they ruined it with Michael in the end, and just all that cheap crap and how they brought it all back to Jamie Lee Curtis and all that crap, they could have had that boyfriend sit up in the end.
Yeah.
You want your sequel bait? There you go.
No, I
you can
agree.
and it could be totally believable because the whole movie was basically Michael passing on to him, anyways. So it could easily be sequel bait right there.
Yeah.
Although that stupid way that that kid died. The one where he's like hiding in the closet or whatever. He locked the guy who died, or the boyfriend. He locked him in the closet. And he's like, let me out, and he bumps it and the kid falls, whatever.
Oh God, I don't even remember that.
That's like the beginning. That's like how the movie begins, and like I think.
Oh, where the kid falls over the rail.
Yeah, and like they're trying to like scare the audience into thinking that Michael's there, like he's there, like they're doing the thing and like he's never there, and it was just that one to me was like,
I know what you're talking about.
really? That's how you're gonna kill him?
Yeah.
Because you're thinking the whole time that the kid's just gonna be killed by Michael Myers. I almost said Michael Jackson.
The kid would not be killed by Michael Jackson. Nope.
Oh boy.
Well, we're done. We're going to go join that party back there. See you next time on Hydro Man Ran. Or not.
Christmas movies. 100 subscriber. Christmas movies. We'll figure out like a more focused theme.
Okay. All right.
That's something that we can have some highs and lows.
Yeah. Sure. Okay. Christmas Vacation.
Christmas Vacation.
Yeah. Okay. I'm always on board to watch that.
Home Alone 2. In honor of...
In honor of our potential next president. Former president. Yeah.
Or Home Alone 1. Or both. Why not both?
Or both. Yeah, okay.
Elf. Miracle on 34th. Like, there's so many.
I'm about to, I'm going to be on, there's a channel called Nerd Champs
Mm-hmm.
on YouTube.
I think you mentioned that.
And I'm going to be on there arguing that Die Hard is not a Christmas movie.
Ah.
So we can't do that one.
That's fine. I'm heard a funny joke about why it is. It wasn't like being serious, but it was like it was a play on words or something. Dang it, what was it? Okay, I don't know. I'll think of it later. I think if you think Die Hard's a Christmas movie, then you also have to think that the first Harry Potter is a Christmas movie. Which some people do.
Do they?
Like, I don't know if they seriously do.
But several Harry Potter movies take place at Christmas, though, don't they?
Well, technically, all of them have Christmas at some point because all of them span the school year.
Yeah. Okay.
But like the first one actually has a bit of actual Christmassy stuff.
Oh, okay.
A little bit, not a lot.
Huh? Okay.
I mean, and it's really not. It's like if a movie takes place on Christmas, I don't know. To each their. I mean, like if you enjoy Die Hard on Christmas, bless you. That's fine.
Well, my argument is I do, but it's because I don't like Christmas movies. So I think it's an anti-Christmas movie.
So you really are the Grinch.
I am the Grinch. Yes.
Speaking of which, the Grinch. Another one.
Which one?
Yes.
Okay.
I think they're both really good.
Yeah.
I haven't seen. There's a newer one that came out recently. I don't know about that one.
Well, we gotta like pick some old ones, like an old Christmas Carol or an old like Miracle on 34th Street.
I would love to watch that again. Love that one.
We need to do like a really like interesting like time span on Christmas movies and maybe see how Christmas movies change over time.
I see. I like that. We could do that. We could do the Grinch. We could do Rudolph. Like, there's so many.
Yeah.
This is America. There is not a shortage of Christmas movies to watch.
Santa versus the Martians.
Highs and lows.
Yeah.
Highs and lows. Who wins?
Yeah. So, if you want to watch Uwe Boll movies, unsubscribe so we never get to 100. And if you want to watch us do Christmas movies, tell your friends to subscribe. We'll get there, and we'll do some Christmas movies. And that is to anybody who's made it to the end of this.
Only to you.
3 hour and 15-minute long epic of an episode. Holy crap! I can't believe we recorded that long.
You know, Trump only made it like 3 hours on the Joe Rogan podcast, so we basically.
This is basically Trump and Joe Rogan. This is as important, I would say.
I would say more.
If you were upset that Kamala did not do the Joe Rogan podcast, take this as your
There's still 2 days.
Kamala Joe Rogan podcast.
There's still 2 days left.
Yeah, sure.
3 days left.
This is really more Tim Wallace playing Madden. That's really what this is.
Good night, fellow kids.